And welcome to another edition of XFeed. I think I changed my camera around because this angle is kind of wonky. Nah, it works. We're good. We're good. Welcome. Hope you guys had a phenomenal weekend. We're going to recover the CSGO skin crash because I forgot that happened, and that's the essence of the news cycle. We got Pudgy Penguins partnering with Kung Fu Panda. We're probably going to have to do either two sets of streams today, or we're just going to end up prolonging this one while we get through all the different insights. ApeFest was over the weekend as well. Very cool to see all of the videos, experiences, and whatnot through that. We get to re-experience that through the timeline, and I've set up a bunch of posts and videos to be able to relive that with you. We are seeing mass bullishness from the institutional players specifically, but when you go on the timeline, almost everybody's saying, yo, listen, Q4, and we're heading into the final couple of weeks. Well, yeah, I guess for final couple of weeks. But thank you guys for tuning on in. Let's get into it. So this person had a CSGO account, and you can see in the top left corner here that their account was worth about $60,000, and we're going to assume that it is US. They refreshed the page after the complete wipeout for what happened within CSGO, and it went from 60,000 to 18,000. Well, we'll just round it up like the other one, 20,000. So huge discount zone. Arguably, some people are like, buy the dip. Other people are like, well, this is horrible. And then it kind of came back to, all right, well, does crypto gaming end up helping with this at all? Because teams could decide, hey, this asset, this collectible has more supply, a different use case than it is. The value can end up him and Han. Does crypto change that aspect? Well, no, not necessarily, because there's a lot of teams that'll still just decide stuff anyway. But either way, it got a little bit of conversation around that. Now, what about the longevity of things or the proof that it happened? Do you guys know NBA 2K, the video game? So they had an esport league called NBA 2K League. And they had a real draft where they picked players that were playing this game, just like, the NFL draft, the NBA draft, like the real deal. They did that for the video game. They had people that were trying to trash talk each other, but yeah, it was essentially an esport league where they were playing basketball as a video game against each other. I don't know what happened. I'm guessing that it just wasn't profitable or whatever. But they just deleted the whole thing. Imagine having 100,000 people subscribe to a YouTube channel and you just delete everything that exists around it. And so John here, who allegedly had 3 MVPs within that league and 4 consecutive championships on their resume, but the video is gone on YouTube, so they don't have any evidence of it. That's the sort of thing. It's all right, how do we back up the data in which we love? So the conversation around video games, did you notice that a crypto-based game had a massive sellout a couple days ago? Cambria Islands minted out for 300 ETH, more than $1 million in 3 minutes. This is only possible in this environment because Cyberpunk and the team built a fun, unique game world with diehard community. Again, I played Cambria. I very, very much enjoyed it. We're seeing a lot of concern around crypto gaming, but that is one that I love. So the ApeFest and ComplexCon, which was kind of a mix mash of 2 different events, but ApeFest holding at the same time as ComplexCon, which is, we'll get into that in a moment. But some of the art, listen, what a fire graphic. We have Curtis the Ape and then the Las Vegas Strip just through the glasses. Absolutely love it. Imagine you're waking up and this is what your view is, knowing that you're going to meet a whole bunch of other people within the crypto space in Las Vegas. Not too shabby. Now, throughout this, because I know not everybody's going to be here for the ApeFest news, we're gonna break it up with different conversations. So on Friday, I believe it was, we did a stream when we talked about Tibber, and you might have seen a lot of people be talking about this Tibber. And the TLDR of it, you can watch the full live stream that we did on Friday. But otherwise, Mickey Malka is the most successful investor within the crypto space, getting in early for the likes of Coinbase, Robinhood on their page. They have Uniswap as well. Stripe just got added the other day, which I thought was super, super interesting. And there is an AI agent out there that has been talking about agents and what it seems what the big players in the world of tech, from Microsoft as an example, what they're doing with these agents and what it looks like. And this account that's on X has gotten like a ton of attention for it, and there seems to be a connection with Ribbit Capital. And if you spell Ribbit backwards, it is Tibber. So Mickey Malka, who is like the head of Ribbit Capital, was on a podcast with Raoul Pal, and Raoul Pal asks him about this specific AI agent, saying, do you know who this is?
What is the Ribbitor thing? What is the little autonomous agent that's on X?
I have no idea.
So they have no idea, but basically everybody's like screenshotted this right here where both of them are like smiling gleefully regarding it. So allegedly that's the alpha that Ribbit Capital, one of the most successful funds, companies, whatever you want to call it, in Web3 from the early days. And they wrote a letter back in 2013 talking about how Bitcoin was going to be like the biggest financial experiment since like 1971, 72, 73, whatever it was. It goes down a deep, deep rabbit hole. But we got some big players in the connections. What is going to happen? So I need to lower this because you guys aren't going to be able to see it. But take a look at this. Crypto is global, but on-chain activity is growing fastest in developing countries. So there's two charts on the page. On the left side, it says mobile wallet usage. An indicator of on-chain activity comes largely from developing countries. And there's a graph here where it shows on the bottom, like a big chunk of it is United States, and then Nigeria, and then India, and then Colombia, Argentina, Thailand, Philippines, Pakistan, Indonesia, Peru, other. And then on the other side, it's not about mobile, it's about web-based traffic, and Australia's leading at that, South Korea, United Kingdom, Canada, United States. So very interesting, the difference between web traffic versus mobile. So if you want a screenshot and take that for later, bada boom, bada bang, you're more than welcome to. JP Morgan to allow institutional clients to use Bitcoin and Ethereum as collateral. I saw somebody comment saying, didn't a couple months ago JP Morgan say like crypto was just like flat out a scam? And now they're like, you know what? You can use this collateral, no problem. Unbelievable. So here's some more footage from ApeFest. Imagine that you're there in that room checking out a couple of different booths. Sort of the same for thinking of like Web3 events that are in person. Because, okay, so Ape Chain, I'm going to call it like Smash. Oh, so it's with Oniforce here, but you get to go to a booth and like see what these guys are advertising. Do you think that it would give you more of a, inclination to go check something out? If you've seen it in person, you can see, okay, these people are legit. Obviously, here within the Web3 realm, we look at a website, we see what different people are talking about it. But you feel it's a different connection if you were to see them in person. Laura Rodriguez out in Las Vegas as well for ApeFest. And then we saw Other Side, who is their metaverse platform, have a little bit of a different rebrand. People are starting to question, all right, is this a Pokeball? Is this trying to represent something else? No, it wasn't Pokemon, but funny to see the conversations around that. And Captain Zwingli bringing some of the screenshots from the previous ApeFest. So in the first one, they actually gave out posters, and you can see here that there was out of 2,000. Now, a lot of people didn't even realize this as they were leaving. You could get one. So people tried to go back in, but there was all the suit nanny. Well, absolutely craziness where they originally had it, because it was kind of like this big, I don't know if we call it like a barn, but a big arena, just sort of in the middle of nowhere. And this is what it was. So it went like straight across. They had a ton of different apes that were up on the wall. People went and just took photos of apes, even if it wasn't theirs, towards the end of it. This was the one out in New York where they had Eminem, Snoop Dogg. They had the 4 different nights. People were able to submit that they wanted to go and attend one of the nights. Potentially, they got tickets for all 4. Potentially, got tickets for 1 or 2. All kind of depended. So there's a little bit of a look back in time. Tether is expected to make $15 billion in profit this year. Again, Tether, the USDT printers, with a 99% profit margin, according to CEO Paolo Ardoino. $15 billion in profit. Guys, if you had $15 billion, what would you end up doing? All right, check this out. So we've been working on like a physical card collection. So we got the Grurumon first edition Digimon, okay? We got a 1994 Marvel Masterpieces, which I'm still trying to like fully comprehend the difference between those. But then we got the new Vibes TCG Pudgy Penguins Success Penguin. Hell yeah. We're starting up the collection of graded collectibles. Kind of cool to have. And again, do we change our mantra moving forward between digital, between physical? What do we like? What do we not like? Glorious. Glorious. This past week, I talked with Adam, who is one of the co-founders of Portals. When we talk about metaverse worlds, one of the ones over on Solana, they're doing a lot of really cool things. But within this conversation, I kind of focused mainly on, talk to me about business. Because we're seeing some of the most well-funded entities just suddenly going kaputs. Out of nowhere. And so they ended up raising $5 million, and they're continuing to go on. One of the most successful games over on Solana and apps, whatever phrase you want to say. But if you want to check that out, it's episode 74, excuse me. We got another episode coming out tomorrow as well. We can check out the link in the description down below, or if you just type that in on any sort of podcasting platform, RWA segments, you'll be able to find it. Bored ApeFest merchandise. Okay, so again, imagine you're going to this and you got a pocket full of change. You ever seen like Harry Potter when he's on that train and they got like a chunk of change and they're like, we'll take the lot. Take a look at this. Do you see anything within this 30-second clip that you would say, all right, I'm going to take the lot? We have a duck. I feel like that's not for sale. I can't tell what's in there. We have the cash register with a very interesting mirror in the front. We have a couple of shirts on display. I don't know. I was kind of ready to feel some sort of emotion out of that. I feel like I didn't really feel any sort of emotion looking around that room. And I guess this is what I'm trying to see, because it looks like there's like tunnels of like where to go. And so is that merch shop somewhere else? This one says Super Plastics. Maybe this is a part of like ComplexCon as well. I need to see like the overarching map, because I've seen some of like the outside, but I don't know like how well they're connected. Oh, so this is super interesting to me, because what does it look like if we go into a world where everybody just loves video games a lot? All right, well, we're already there, but let's take it a step further and say, all right, we are seeing that esports, well, each individual one has kind of ebbs and flows of being hot and or not. I think for the average gamer, they've always wanted to experience what it's like to play in like an esports arena with a crowd. So I need to figure out which one of you guys out there have funds and access where we can get like an esports studio and rent it out to average Joes. Think of the people that go out and play like ice hockey, right? And they enjoy it. It's great. What if you could have an entire stage? Now, maybe you'd have to like pay for the fans too. Maybe people would want to come by and they could, give them free food or something. But I feel like that's an absolutely $1 million idea. Now, I'm stealing this, but that is because this is what I believe happened over at ApeFest. They had the bathroom blitz. They were offering people to go and play them. You got seats, you got computers, you got the main stage, the whole thing. I love it. I absolutely love it. And with the NBA season as well, guess what? NBA Top Shot sales are up 44% on the week. So people are back collecting once the NBA got back in session. G-Money, people are panic dumping while billionaires are getting in. You idiots. Yeah, all right, a little bit harsh, but what the hell is this? Reid Hoffman posting a photo of a hoodie CryptoPunk, which again, these are multi hundreds of thousands of dollars. Picked this guy up a few months ago, been investing in this space since 2013, and now excited to join one of crypto's most impactful communities. Who else do we think is kind of on the back end? It's just, hey, you know what? We're a pretty big deal, but we're going to like sort of stay quiet around this crypto thing until it ends up becoming a little bit more notable, acceptable, whatever it may be. Wild to see. Apparently the guy's a billionaire too. We've seen that stuff with Adam Wheatsman over at Yuga on the weekend as well. We're going to have to bring up more posts regarding that, but very interesting. So TokenWorks. A while ago, we did a big video around Punk strategy, and wow, does it ever still have the attention on the timeline? People talking bullish about it, people talking bearish around it, but that is all that matters, is that people are talking about it. It's not lost its relevancy whatsoever, which is very cool to see. Now, with that being said, TokenWorks has kind of done this announcement where on ApeFest, they sort of front ran the announcement, but they did an other deed strategy, and part of it was going back to buy the Ape strategy. Then on the final part of this message, they said, over the coming weeks, you'll see more novel strategy launches before a massive platform release in early November. So if we're going to say over the coming weeks, which is going to happen like before early November, we have what? Maybe like 2 weeks? maybe 3. But we have more novel strategy launches, so very curious to see how those end up performing. Other deeds didn't really do well at all. I don't know why they front ran the announcement by like 24 hours. That felt sort of stupid to me, and you just saw people that were out there flipping it, and it seems like it kind of puts like a brakes on what's happening. All right, institutional bulls, what's going on? Tom Lee, the big guy, championing ETH like Michael Saylor does Bitcoin. What does he have to say?
You're going to see a crypto rally into the end of the year, and it really does help to see JP Morgan say they're open to the idea of using crypto as collateral. You know, we're 10 weeks before the end of the year, and the S&P's at 6,800. I think it's still a base case then for people to say that in just a typical year, the S&P should gain another 4%. That would put us over 7,000 into the end of the year. And I think that that's sort of the minimum. But because we've got the Fed cutting, and they started in September, they've been on pause all year. That only happened twice in the last 50 years, which is 1998 and 2024. I actually think the S&P, given the skepticism that's been plaguing this market all year, we could do far better than 4%, maybe even 10% into year end.
Wow. Okay, so where does crypto fit in, especially when you're looking at how those currencies are moving versus what's happening with tariff concerns, global trade concerns, et cetera?
Crypto had a huge deleveraging event on October 10th, and part of that was triggered by the escalating tensions with U.S. and China on tariffs and trade. And that was the biggest liquidation event in 5 years for crypto. So there is still those ripple effects, 2 weeks later that are plaguing the crypto market. But I think we're almost through that, because a measure like something called open interest for both Ethereum and Bitcoin are at record lows at a time when the technicals for both Bitcoin and Ethereum are flipping positive. So I think you're going to see a crypto rally into the end of the year. And it really does help to see JP Morgan say they're open to the idea of using crypto as collateral.
Nice. Always good to hear the bull posters on that side. The Beamer Club, BMW X Bored Ape. One of the, I guess this is like just like a B. I'm trying to think, like, is this person, at first, I thought this was like a trial run of, hey, you can drive a BMW, but based off of this person showing this, I don't know like what they look like, so I can't tell if this is them in the front, if this is like a taxi, like what they did with Flow back during NFT NYC a few years ago, where it was like, if you're going to this event or if you have a badge, you can just get like free taxis for these Flow cars around New York City. But either way, very, very cool. All right, from one institutional head to another, let's go over to Robinhood.
I think it's quite amazing,
Sure.
And I believe it will make it easier to invest in American companies if you're outside the world. It will also bring the markets into 24/7 and fully on-chain and get all the benefits that crypto technology levies on these traditional assets. So I think it's time to move beyond Bitcoin and meme coins into real-world assets that exhibit fundamental utility.
So one thing that we've seen like a huge uproar on over the past couple days, if you haven't seen, is this big, I'd say like almost anti-meme coin perspective. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that you'll see that are super, super bullish on meme coins and the idea around it. But I've noticed like this tune flip over the past couple days, and I don't know if you guys have noticed it too, but it's just people are dogging on anything meme coin related. Another news coming out of ApeFest was that for Otherside, Daniel Arsham enters Otherside, introducing the Daniel Arsham Voyager, a first-of-its-kind collaboration fusing fine art and digital identity, a collectible that evolves like the world of Otherside, limited to 300 editions coming soon. So I feel we haven't seen like a big, interesting mint in a minute for anything like regarding crypto. I'm really trying to think, apart from Cambria that happened the other day, which I know that's sort of like recency bias, I can't think of like a big NFT mint except if it was on like another chain. But for ETH, we haven't seen it. I don't know if they're swearing in this, but this is some video from the Nexus announcement at ApeFest.
It's your domain, my friend. Your domain. Got a lot of blood flow throughout the body. Win other side of the sphere.
Okay, so there's your trailer video for the Nexus within the metaverse world that Yuga Labs is building. Crypto Twitter said NFTs are dead, but then this is what ApeFest looks like if I can get the video to load. Uno momento. Ton of people. Bored Ape Gazette highlighting that people are out getting free flash tattoos at the event, which is always great to see. And this is what one of the tickets looked like that they were handing out. Free tattoo golden ticket between 7:15 and 7:45. Please arrive at Arena Sanctuary Art 10 minutes before your time slot. Imagine going to an event and they're giving out free tattoos. How many of you would end up actually being like, you know what? Sure, I'm down for that. So I have to bring up a couple more videos because that was about 70 tabs worth of stuff. We still have more to go over regarding ApeFest. Don't forget the Pudgy Penguin x Kung Fu Panda announcement. We also saw some things from Snoop Dogg that didn't really go over extraordinarily well. I feel that he's like one of the biggest celebrities that's still within the Web3 space. But it's met with like a lot of, I don't know. I feel like 50-50 in terms of like negativity because he's done like so many other launches and people feel that he's like just not done or followed up on certain stuff when I mean half of it's like avatars or something that's based off like the game going. We're gonna have summaries. All right, we're up to like 8 different things. Oh, also there was a video that was posted that is 9 minutes. I don't know if we watch it. It's 9 minutes. We probably should. But it looks quite good. Oh, and then BMW also got their own Bored Ape, which I was very surprised about because I didn't think that would end up being the case. But everything is about creating these IPs. Oh, and then Uniswap started repping an interesting brand that you guys might be familiar with. Okay, let's jump with what we got here. Okay. So the Coda Nexus will be going live on November 12th. I don't really know what that means, but let's watch the video. This is the final tweet in the thread. Okay, cool. But yeah, the Coda Nexus, what does that mean for the Coda NFTs, I suppose? So on top of the announcements regarding the Nexus going live on November 12th, they also made an announcement regarding ApePay. If you know ApeCoin, it came out. There was a big donation to the Jane Goodall Foundation. was a pretty massive airdrop at the time. Horizon Labs got a ton of credit because they were the ones that helped launch the token. Token came out at insane valuations. It's since come down, but that being said, what does it look like over a longer term horizon? This is ApePay, a new IRL payment terminal made in partnership with Previum. ApePay is the first step in opening the doors for consumers and businesses to use ApeCoin in everyday transactions. So I suppose the only thought with this is that it's so volatile, like the token. Like, all right, maybe it's a difference in a couple of cents, but how does that work if you're wanting to get paid in something that's stable and then you use tokens that aren't? Curious if anybody has any thoughts on that. But Bored Ape Yacht Club X Snoop Dogg coming to Telegram. Have you noticed the Telegram stickers been like the be all and the end all? Like every single notable team that can do Telegram stickers have been doing them, and they're instantly selling out. Definitely been underrated on the Ton progress. But the clubhouse, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, hey, we're getting a club. Luxury first, lore in the details. Our Miami headquarters for the next era of Bored Ape Yacht Club. The build-out continues in January. So it's looking quite suave, if you will. Well, in an open area, and then I feel like some of the rooms look like each of those look totally different than the next. Figure they kind of have the same style, but I feel like each room to the next has got a completely different vibe to it. So this is the video from DC Roth. Yeah. Let's give it a watch. These are always fire.
There's a rule that says once you've spent 10,000 hours on something, you've mastered it. So what happens when hundreds of people, artists, engineers, storytellers who've each put in their 10,000 hours, come together to build one shared vision? That's when you know something special is going to happen. So today, the wait is over. This isn't a trip, this isn't a test, this is phase 1. A full persistent release of a living, breathing world. Welcome to the other side. For years, Other Side has been glimpses. The first trip, the second trip, even breaking world records, only to return to the workshop and to keep building. Today, the Other Side persists, and this changes everything. This massive world, all of its modes and its features don't shut down anymore. They're always on, always alive. You log in today, it's here. You log in tomorrow, it's evolved. This is the full release, and there are 3 layers to phase 1. The social hub. This is where we gather, trade, play soccer, float in bubbles, or just vibe. The game layer. Quests, battles, and modes built by the devs and creators. And the ODK, the toolkit where we build, publish, and monetize our own creations. Make no mistake, this isn't just a release, it's the foundation of a platform built for the future. Every great world needs a heart. For Other Side, that's the Nexus. The Nexus is the mythic birthplace of coders, a playable, explorable anchor of the entire world. Think of Orgrimmar in World of Warcraft or the Tower in Destiny, a living hub where the story takes shape and where we connect the dots. But unlike most games, the Nexus isn't static. It evolves as new chapters unfold and it grows as we grow. And for those who hold coders, entire areas of the Nexus open up. Token gated, exclusive, and filled with hidden lore and experiences you won't find anywhere else. It adapts, it unlocks, and it rewards those who carry its assets. This is the place where every Voyager's journey begins, but how this journey is written will be defined by you. Here's the biggest unlock, and it's exactly what the most successful games in the world figured out. You don't just need players, you need creators.
I feel other side is mine, and I want to build, and I want to continue my stories and the stories, the swamp stories, the club stories. I want them to continue on other side.
I mean, I was excited, you know, because again, like, been thinking about the metaverse for, at that point, like a couple of decades, and Yuga decide, hey, we're gonna do this.
It's in our hands, you know. It's up to us. So it feels like a once in a lifetime thing, like almost like it's never been done before. This scale, size, the goal of the end product.
I think just using the ODK to actually make your dreams come true, whether it's by yourself or with the help of others, I think it's going to unlock a lot of potential in our space.
Warcraft, Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite Creative each became a cultural titan because they handed the tools to the community. Other Side takes that exact DNA and supercharges it with Unreal Engine's endless capabilities and Web3's ideology of ownership. And at the foundation, ApeChain, a functioning economy tied directly to the value of what gets built. With the ODK, Voyagers don't just consume content, they create it. And thanks to ApeCoin, they can own and monetize what they built. So Other Side turns players into builders and builders into owners. This isn't a side feature, it's the growth engine. ApeCoin is the ingredient we needed to take Other Side from a game to a platform. Which brings us to the biggest news. Other Side has just become the first Web3 native platform to partner with Amazon.
What's up, I'm
and
Dolly.
yes, that's a huge moment for Web3. With 300 million active users just one click away, we're about to be in the spotlight like never before.
So one thing, we didn't get through like all the announcements for ApeFest because there's still actually more. There was a fair few, and one of those was the fact that there is a Amazon partnership. I don't know if I have this. Yeah. So this is what it looked like at the event when they announced it. And clearly this video kind of had an idea that was going to come, so they had that prep for it. But very, very cool that we're seeing the announcement with Amazon as well.
From the start, Voyagers have been central to Other Side's story. Now we're entering a new era, Voyagers 2.0. That means upgraded avatars, more customization, a chance to represent not just who you are, but who you want to be. It also means progression, quests, achievements, a visualized reputation system. Your Voyager evolves alongside you because your Voyager isn't just an avatar, it's your story written into the Other Side. It shouldn't just be a skin, but a living record of your history and your adventures. And it doesn't stop at Voyagers. Open standards mean every Web3 community can join. The Avatar docs launched just a little over a month ago, and already we're seeing floods of new characters spawning into the world. While Other Side has its stars, coders and apes, it has never been about one collection or one community. It's always been about building a world big enough for all of Web3. Now, looking ahead into the next phase, a couple of major unlocks are just around the corner. Firstly, Coda AI. For decades, building digital worlds required everything. Coding, modeling, animation, years to master, decades to perfect. Coda AI changes this. For the first time ever, you don't need 10,000 hours to get great results. You don't need to master the craft. You don't even need to code. You just have to describe what you want. Give me a neon jungle with floating platforms. Make the sun smaller. That's the power of Coda AI. It doesn't just speed up creation, it unlocks imagination. And for the ones who can't wait to start, especially if you're as obsessed with vibe coding as I am, MML integration is coming just weeks after this phase 1 launch. In simple terms, That means you'll be able to use ChatGPT to generate 3D objects and drop them directly into the other side. This feature alone could spark an entire new generation of digital architects. People who've never touched a game engine can suddenly build entire experiences. And of course, the biggest feature set to roll out in Phase 2, the resource gate. This is when all other deeds come online and we will expand to community-built lands. So in many ways, Phase 1 is laying the foundation for everything the other side is and is going to be. So, here we are. A persistent world, the Nexus alive and breathing, an open canvas for all creators, voyagers stepping into the next evolution, and coders rewriting the rules of creation. Phase 1 is live. Everything starts now. The real question is, what's your first move?
Yo, it is so depressing watching that and like being really into Futureverse and seeing the absolute like debacle and failure that whole thing was. Holy, very cool and awesome to see that other side is doing it. But I cannot help but think, holy, did they ever absolutely fumble the bag over at Futureverse regarding all of that stuff? But damn, that looks really, really cool. Again, the Amazon aspect, getting the big players involved. Snoop Dogg's got like a car out front for the event. So you get to experience that. These are a ton of the different happenings in the recap here. So, collab dropped this weekend at ComplexCon with John Geiger, Sean Witherspoon, and Jay Tips. OpenSea XP allocation for Ape. So if you happen to have one in your wallet, you got like a package of XP from OpenSea. The Snoop Dogg partnership drop for Telegram regarding the stickers. BMW long-running partnership takes next step with new Ape IP Max, which we haven't gotten to yet. Long-form storytelling, Curtis, Jimmy, and Gary animated series in development. Haven't gotten to that either, but it's a joint venture with Machi's Bored Ape Studios, and then they are going to do the Clubhouse, which we did cover a moment ago. So this is the announcement with Amazon, where they have, DC Roth was talking about the characters and the Voyagers. Amazon is going to have one that looks like Bobby Box said, if you've ever seen Trailer Park Boys, or it's more of like a box. But still very, very cool. This is the announcement regarding BMW. So the Bored Ape Beamer Club, they had that, I believe, like a year ago, but similar to like Curtis, they are now trying to create IP over a singular ape, which is something that I've thought about a lot more as of recently. Think of all like the big brands that are out there right now within Web3. So Pudgy Penguins and Bored Apes. Let's stick with that for a second. Can you name any of the characters that had any sort of like lore created for either of them? I feel like I could only say like Curtis, because I know that they've pushed this ape as like the main one for a lot of the different things. I don't know if I could name another one. And this is the animation. I mean, the art style is really cool on that, to be honest. Very, very interested in seeing where that goes. And then Uniswap throwing a doodle on, as I thought that was their profile picture, but I guess they were just posting that Doodles and Burnt Toast is doing something. Is there any comments or shout out to Burnt Toast for the... so it was an honorary. So Doodle's working out there, getting that marketing engine roaring. And then this is just like that BMW video we watched a second ago, but I don't think that there was anything else to it except for maybe a little bit of extra footage. Yeah, that's about it. But still, very, very cool that they are out there and continuing to proliferate the brand. Gonna grab a couple more posts here. Again, probably could do multiple streams off of how much has come out over the weekend regarding, well, mainly it's been Bored Apes, but there has absolutely been more. Now we're getting up to, so we're now 2 days ago for some of the things. Oh, yeah. That one's bad. The Coinbase situation. Other D went live. People going crazy. Oh, and there we go. That big announcement. True. I'm surprised how much footage we got from like everybody. There's so many videos and photos uploaded. Twas great. Do you guys also remember Nintendogs, the Nintendo Switch game? Had that randomly jogged to my memory this weekend. What a fire game. Okay, we'll probably, we'll go with that. And then maybe we'll end up doing a stream later because we're going to end up going forever on this. So let's see what Garga has to say regarding the in-person clubhouse.
So picture it like this. You show up to the concierge desk to pick up your BOIC black card with embedded NFC tech. You're going to need that because there's parts of the clubhouse that are accessible to everybody and parts that only you can access. Behind the concierge desk, you'll notice liquor lockers, each with an Ape's number emblazoned on the label. If it's during the day, maybe you stop by the cafe in the library. It's just a cozy spot to scroll, read, trade, checkerboard tiles, brass fixtures. The walls are lined with BOIC archives and signed posters. Or maybe you step outside to my favorite part, into the heart of the clubhouse, the tree bar, a sculptural oak canopy that rises over the rooftop. This is where live music happens and where whiskey flows from cask-marked BOIC. For dinner, you head into the dining room. It's meant to evoke an Everglades supper club or a secret society. Deep green banquets, palm pattern wallpaper, and custom plates and glassware that you guys are definitely gonna fucking steal. Behind a hidden painting of Curtis in the dining room, there's a door. You push through and you're in the speakeasy. Billiards, records, game table, cozy shit. Look, we've got an incredible design agency, VT Pro, helping make sure the clubhouse is the right mix of luxurious and cozy with BOIC and all the details. And we start construction in January. So needless to say, we've got a lot going on. And the thing I want to leave you with is just thank you. Thank you for being part of this club. I couldn't be more excited about this next chapter.
So if you're in Miami, you're able to go and sit at a table. And, Navi, thank you so much for the share of the stream. This is the Amazon announcement when it happened live.
Today, we can announce that Other Side will be on the front page of Amazon Gaming. That means we will look like this on Amazon. Amazon has over 300 million users, and we are going to be selling digital assets to all of them.
Yeah, I got the guys laughing during while saying that. Okay. Rumble adds Bitcoin tipping for its 51 million active users. YouTube rival Rumble teams up with Tether, who we just had, like a $59 billion profit, whatever the hell that number, unbelievable, to add Bitcoin tipping for creators. Publicly traded video sharing and live stream platform Rumble is adding Bitcoin tipping for its creator base. Interesting. Very interesting. As is this. So Pudgy Penguins x Kung Fu Panda, another massive IP. And thinking back to the Bored Ape announcement a moment ago where they were went through like a bajillion of them. But for the animation, if you remember where there was like that ape that like put the liquor on the sword and that was like, it was like flamethrower and stuff, right? all this is about creating some sort of like brand, some sort of passion. And I've been just banging the drum on there is like nothing consumer wise for like content, right? Cool Cats did like quick 2-minute trailers. Azuki did 1 episode. Doodles did 1 episode, and that's kind of it. Like for all of these major IPs, after 3 to 4 years, they've gotten these big, huge partnerships. But just in terms of like content to consume, apart from like obviously Giphy memes and everything for Pudgy Penguins has been insane. But this, I'm hoping that it's like a show, a series of something, because it's absolutely desperately needed, I think, across the entire space. So from ComplexCon, more footage of what it looked like around the Bored Ape booth and beyond. Big prize wheel. One thing that I heard that I thought was sort of funny is that apparently they were just like trying to resell old merch that never sold. So there was a couple pieces for the ComplexCon of like the hat, the shoes, and the sweater. But apparently they were like actually more pushing like old merch that just didn't sell. And I saw a couple of people posting that out. Burb from Moonbirds. They were also out having a booth, doing their own thing. Very neat to see on that. And then Nintendogs. This was their promo van back in 2005. If you ever remember playing that game, you had to like take care of a dog, but it was digital. It was like Tamagotchi, but way, way better. And this is what the Moonbirds booth looked like via video. Bada boom, bada bang. All right, that's going to be it for this edition of X-Feed. We're getting close to like an hour here. We might end up doing a stream later again. We still got a whole another 2 days worth of insights happening and news to cover, but there was a lot to go over regarding ApeFest and a couple of the institutional players that are just on the mainstream news talking bullish as ever. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll catch you later if you're around, and otherwise I will see you tomorrow. And if you're wanting more content, of course, we do the RWA SegMints Podcast, which the link is in the description below if you're watching on YouTube or in my bio on X. Navi and I'm Tully. Thank you guys for coming down. See you later. Peace.